Hello and welcome, and thank you very much for joining me in the studio today. As you know, if you watched the video last week, you'll know that I'm currently on my vacation out in Tenerife. So as I said, this is one of the videos that I wanted to bring back to you because I really enjoyed painting it, and there's a lot of tips in there that you might find useful. So stay watching, happy painting! Fantastic paints here. I've got ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, I got a red, a burnt umber, a white and a black. Now the reason I'm excited today is because I've been contacted by a company called ALIZARIN, and they've sent me these fantastic paints along, and they come in a box of 60 colours, and all the colours you can imagine actually, and even my favourite Indian yellow is in there. As I said, I'm working on a 14 by 12 canvas today, and I put a ground on there. I thought we'd do something that we can use these colours on, obviously. Anyway, without the waffle, let's get a brush. Now, I haven't got... They sell brushes as well, but I quite like using the brushes I'm used to at the moment because I didn't get any brushes, unfortunately. And I thought what I would do is just use plain old, boiled, cooled tap water and nothing else, because we want to know how good this paint is. And never tried painting with this before, so it's going to be an experience for me as well. So what I'm going to do is pick up a bit of cerulean blue. I'm going to pick up a little bit of ultramarine blue, and so far that paint looks quite nice. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white on my brush, so I got 3 colours on there. I've got white, cerulean blue and ultramarine blue. That should give me a sky that I'm looking for, and I'm just going to paint that in, and we'll see how nice that goes. Actually, I'm quite impressed because it is covering really well. You need to do a transparency test on these colours if you do pop along and buy them. And what I suggest you do is get a bit of card or an old canvas and get some get a permanent marker or something and put 3 little lines like that. 3 little lines like that in permanent marker in black, and then paint over these 3 lines with the colour, and if you see those 3 lines through it, then you know it's transparent or semi-transparent or opaque. So there's a little test, and you can use that method on any paint, in fact. So it's quite warm in the studio. It's starting to dry a little bit, so we pick up some more cerulean blue, a little bit more ultramarine blue, a little bit of white, just to get this sky in place. And I'm just going to play around with that. I'm using the paint neat. I haven't added any water to it. So far so good. I'm quite impressed actually. Now they do sell other quantities of paint on the website. The websites are below, as I said. The UK one hasn't got all the products. It's the US one. But give them a shot and see if there's anything they would like to try. And if you use that code that I've given below, obviously I'll get a small commission for that, which is quite nice of them to do that for me. And it's always nice to have free paint anyway. And I'm always up for looking for different products. There we are. That's quite a nice sky. I quite like it. I'm going to pick up a little bit of moisture and picking up a little bit more white because I just want to lighten down this sky just a touch there. And when you paint in skies, just blend. You'll get used to the paint. What I'm saying is you're going to get used to the paint. You're going to get used to the feel of the paint, no matter what paint you use. If you use it a lot and you're using one product, this is why I like to try and keep to one product if I can, if I'm working, especially on my commissions and stuff. If you just keep to one product, you get to know what that product can do. You get to know how long it takes to dry, how you can blend with it, what colours are transparent, what are opaque, because different companies got different colours and they're all different opacities. So bear that in mind. That's important. Bear that in mind. So we just add in a little bit of colour to this sky. There you go. Bringing this in. And so far, so good. I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed with this. So I'm going to get a little bit of ultramarine blue on my brush, a little bit of fluid, a little bit of white. I'm just going to put that by there, I think. I just want to lighten this down to a point that I want. And now I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber to it. There we are. So we got a dirty blue colour. There you go. You could see that my wet palette is drying out already. Surprising. I'm just going to put in some of that colour there now to act like shadows for a cloud formation that I want to do. Because I'm thinking the image I got that I'm working from, which is from a royalty-free site, by the way. Links are all below. So I'm working from an image because it's easier to do that when doing a review like this, because I don't have to think too much, because I want to concentrate on this paint. I want to get to know the paint, and getting to know the product, as I said, helps you immensely. It really does. So I'm just putting in some of this dirty looking colour, and it'll all work because we just put in the undercolour of this cloud formation in. And I wanted to do it this way because I want to get the feel of the paint. And you keep hearing me saying I need to feel the paint, and that is important. I've had a comment, a couple of comments in fact. I'm going to have to re-wet my palette in a second. I've had a couple of comments saying that you know, you seem to blend your paints well, and I struggle, and this particular person said I'm struggling with blending. It's getting to know the drying times as well, I think. It's not just about knowing how the paint flows. It's getting to know the drying time as well. There you go. So I'm happy with that so far. What I'm going to do now is just going to lift my this is greaseproof paper, by the way, or parchment paper, and I got some kitchen paper or kitchen roll, the stuff you use in the kitchen paper, and I need to re-wet that and stick this back down. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm just going to have to pause the video a second. Okay, I've done that. What people don't realise is a wet palette only works when it's wet. It doesn't work when it's dry. And again, I've had a couple of people say that the paper's moving about, it's too dry. Well, you need to wet it basically. Make sure that the underneath is wet, and this parchment paper or baking paper or greaseproof paper, whatever you call it in your country, sticks to it. If not, wet it a little bit, give it a scrunch, put it back down, then put your paints on there, and you'll find that your paints will stay wetter for longer. Okay, so we're going to get some burnt umber. I'm going to add a little bit of white to that. I want to lighten this down because I'm thinking of mountains and things like this. There we go. So I need to blue that off a little bit. I'm going to get a cerulean blue to it. I get it really light. A bit of ultramarine blue to it. See what happens. I just need to cool this off. Getting a colour that I'm happy with. And I'm just going to look at this. But test. Yeah, that's fine. I can work with that. So this mountainscape, it reminds me of Snowdonia in Wales. And I thought that would be a nice thing to try and paint. So we'll just put that in. This is very distant, this mountain. Very, very, very distant in the background there. And this is something you can try. And I'm sure you can do it. I'm still waiting for this to dry. You can still see parts of it is still a little bit wet. So I'm quite impressed. I am really impressed with this paint. And I'm not just saying that because it was sent to me for free and I've got to do a review. I'm an honest chap, and I will tell you as things are. And if I'm not happy with something, that is something I will say. And anybody that follows me knows that, you know, you don't gain nothing by lying, do you? You don't. You don't gain nothing. You just lose trust. And if there's something I don't like, then that's exactly what I'm going to say. But as far as the paint is concerned, I'm happy. Now, as far as the quantity is concerned, it's okay. The box is quite a nice box. There's 660 acrylic colours in there, and they're 22 mils or 0.74 US fluid ounces. So, is it enough paint? Well, it is for the amount of paint and colour range that you've got there in those 60 tubes. You've got a bit of everything, and you've got the flexibility of going on to the website and ordering more of one particular colour. But as a starter kit, I think it's really good. So far, let's try this. Now, the proof in the pudding, as they say, is I think we need to find my little cloud brush, because I haven't painted clouds for a long time, and I got a little filbert brush there that has done so many clouds, more cloud. Look, it's even loose, so I got to fix that. But I'm just going to get some plain white. Now this is a proof in the pudding. I want to see how this white performs in this particular way. I'm going to get a little bit of this undercolor, cloud undercolor to it. So I'm just going to darken that off a touch. Stain the white paint, look, with this, so it's not a brilliant white. And then I haven't put a lot of paint on my brush. I'm going to look at this cloud formation, and I'm going to scrub in. And this is a dry brushing technique, so this is another good test for this type of paint. It's how it dry brushes as well, how it reacts to the canvas. This is not an Arteza canvas, because as I said, I was just sent out some paint, so I've had to use an old canvas, but most of them are all basically the same type of thing. As far as canvases are concerned, you get what you pay for. If you want to spend money on a proper cotton or linen canvas, then you can. But in my experience for learning and for beginners, then the cheaper canvases can work really well, and most of these canvases are not cotton based. They're gauze based, and they put gauze on there, they stick it down, and they put a primer on it, and that's basically all they are. But I am aware that there are better quality canvases out there, and as far as Arteza are concerned, I can't talk for them because I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what their canvas panels are, but I'm hoping if this video works well and I get a little bit of response, and some of you try their products, and I'll get a little bit of commission, that maybe they'll send me out some more products again in the future, and I'm hoping I'll be able to review some canvases. Who knows? I've got a couple of other little products, hopefully, which I can look at. I'm just waiting for a delivery on them, but I thought I'd get the paints one done first, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just scrubbing in, getting some shapes into this. This is a big cloud. I don't know what they call this formation, a cloud. There's a name for it, I can't remember. Seen one the other day actually when I was walking Molly down the park, and I thought, oh, I got to stop and take a picture of that. If any opportunity you can to take a picture of a cloud formation, do it, because you'll never see that cloud formation ever again in your life. They're unique. They're totally, absolutely 100% unique. You'll never see them again, not in that shape. Seen one on Facebook the other day that looked like a human face, which was phenomenal. I'm just going to go over that mountain range a little bit with a little bit of dry brush to make it look as if There's a little bit of underlining mist flying around. I can see very little paint. Very little paint for this technique. Dry brush. Just want to get those clouds to fluff up. It's a good experiment as well. Good practice for you. If you've never painted clouds before, have a go. And I know I got the greatest respect for everybody that tries to paint. I really have. I was talking to a lady. I went to Tenby the other week, and I was talking to an artist there. And if anybody goes to Tenby, if anybody's been to Tenby, West Wales, then it's just opposite the Lifeboat pub. Just down by there it is. And there's a bookshop there. And there's a little artist, and I forget her name now. She's a lovely lady. There's an artist there. She's got a gallery there, and she does some fantastic works. And I was talking to her the other day, and she was saying that her friend unfortunately had a stroke, and he was an artist, and he's lost the mojo to paint. And we all do that at some point. We all lose our mojo sometimes. We all get that little painter's block and stuff, whether it's through illness, whether it's through stress, or whether it's just through the ability not to be able to do it anymore. I don't know why, but every artist suffers this. And what you got to do, if you don't feel like painting, pick up a colouring book or a pencil and do a little bit of drawing or something. It's important that you do that. There we are. So we're building up the clouds formation there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of blue. I'm just going to get a little bit of this ultramarine blue. There, a touch of water. I don't want too much water because I want this to be a dry brush. Taking a little bit off my brush like that. I want to try and get a little bit of warmth. A little bit of blue into this sky. Well, that's drying off again, that paper. So it shows you really how warm it is in the studio. Just going to get a bit of blue into this cloud. You don't need loads of paint. You don't need loads of paint. Don't think that you have to have tremendous amounts of paint on a canvas sometimes. If you want to paint like this. And I've said before, painting is to be viewed from a distance. You don't need to be thickly painted. Unless that's your thing. If you want to do that, then you can. But I try to work in nice thin layers to get that impressionistic type of look that I want from these things. So we got a little bit of colour there. Let's just put a little bit of blue in. There. There we go. And we come back to that again, so we can just about see those mountains there. They'll stand out a little bit more now when I put the next layer in place. Again, I'm going back to my little short flat that we put the mountain in place in the first place. Too many places. I'm going to get some burnt umber back there. And we want to lighten that just a touch. Get a bit of black this time. Oh, that was quite a strong black, in fact. I'm quite impressed with that one. There you go. I quite like the colours and the intensity and the strength of these colours. I really do. And let's try that against there. Yeah, we got a nice little contrast. And then just, if you haven't got a photograph or a reference to go to, don't worry. Just try and make up some mountain range patterns like that. There we are, just place them on that. Just create an illusion of depth. As we come in towards ourselves, we get in slightly darker and darker and darker. And don't rush your painting. If you want to stop and have a break, then have a break. There's no laws to say that you've got to do things in certain time scales and stuff like that. Absolutely none whatsoever. Art is to be enjoyed. It really is. So, quite lucky to live, I would say, within an hour and a half of the west coast of Wales, and I think an hour and a half to people in America. They must be laughing because they think just some of you just pop down the shops or the stores in an hour and a half. But an hour and a half to us in Wales is quite a long way away. It really is. It warrants a whole holiday, in fact. Now we can look at this and we can get the back of our brush and we can make a little mark like that, and we can start thinking about if you can't, because we're going to put some snow on these little mountains later on, and if you can't think of where these angles are going to be, then just mark them in like this. That's a little tip for you. Why not? While the paint is still wet, and you can put some shadows in and a little bit of highlights here and there, and if you do that, it just makes your life a little bit easier. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm picking up a little bit of burnt umber again, just adding it a little bit more brown to this particular one, and I want to put I don't want to destroy all my clouds, but I want to put another mountain shape in like this. If you have difficulty in painting a mountain shape, just basically just let the brush do what it wants. There we are. We'll come up a little bit there. There's another mountain over there we put in, didn't we? We mustn't forget. Sometimes we forget these things and we overpaint them. But it's far enough away to... Just a little touch of white, just to lighten that off, because we need to get this section further away from us, so we add a little bit of white to that, just to make it look as if it's a bit further away than this bit, and further away than that bit, but so you've got the distances there. Just get a little bit of this burnt umber back in here and put that in like that. Now let's get a bit of burnt umber. Let's get a little bit of black, a little bit of white. Just add a little bit of contrast here and there and here. There you go. Smallest amount of black. We need to darken this up. If you mix burnt umber and black together, you get something that's very similar to a VANDYKE brown. But the good thing is with Arteza, they've covered most of their bases. So again, if you want to draw in some areas that you want to put in white, then now is the time to do it like that. See? So, but I'm putting in shadows at the moment. There you go. Maybe just a little bit there, like that. I'm just breaking this down a touch, just get a little bit more black to this. Yeah, but Arteza have supplied in that 60 colours. That is a lot, actually. If you think about 60 colours, that is quite a lot. I'm just going to put a bit of a foreground focal point there, like that. Just going to block that in. Quite a lovely, smooth type of colour. Again, this is just a block out, so we need just a block that out like that. A bit more brown, bit of black. Get this nice and black in here. There we go. An old canvas that I've reclaimed, and as you know, if you follow me on a regular basis, because I upload every Monday at 7:30 Greenwich Mean Time, that is London time, and if you are not getting my videos sent to you, then check your notification settings for Clive 5 Art in YouTube, and you should have notifications then every time I upload a video. So, but if you're not getting them, there's a possibility that those settings have changed for some reason. So let's get a little bit of shadow just on this mountain there, just a touch. Just put a little bit of shadow in there like that. Very, very little paint on my brush. I'm very cautious of this paint because I don't know it, and I'm just playing around with different methods with the paint because I want to get to know it better, and sometimes just do a painting and then see, you know, the results you're going to get just for fun, really. Just following some lines. I'm not using a lot of paint. I'm just changing my kitchen roll. Just going to blend that in quite smoothly, like that. There we are. So we got some rock type mountain range shapes there, like that. I'm just going to put that brush down. I'm going to get a small detail brush, and then I'm going to pick up a short flat as well. I'm going to keep the short flat dry, but I'm going to use this detail brush. I'm going into this lighter browny colour, and now I'm just going to put in some lighter marks like this. Just around and about, not thinking too much about it, but we want to then develop some sort of light and dark contrast on this mountain to give it some character and some shape. You can see I'm being quite loose and not putting things in any specific order because we want it random. So we're just building up this mountain a little bit now, and there you go. Want a bit lighter there. Bringing that in. My grandson's out and out in the backyard playing with Molly, so she might start barking in a second. I haven't taken her for a walk today, so I'm going to have to do that as soon as I finish this mountain scene, because she'll only be nagging me, and she nags me more than a wife. She does. Not that the wife marks me much, she doesn't. She's pretty good. She allows me to come into the studio and paint with you on a regular basis. So I can't really say nothing, can I? I'm just going to get a bit of white. Don't forget we haven't finished these clouds yet, mind. I'm just going to get a bit of white, and I'm just going to just touch a bit of snow onto these mountains. We don't want a lot of snow because it hasn't been snowing a lot, but there's a little bit of snow. It gets quite cold up in the old mountains, and air temperature is lower. I've never been to snow down here, but I would imagine it's like this. I don't know. But I said I'm using an image, a royalty-free image today, so it's nice to do something without after thinking about it. There's easier ways to paint mountains. I suppose you can use the old Bob Ross technique as well. I'm going to be thinking of maybe doing that on another video. I think that would be good. Yes, but I hope artists are like this, because it must be nice to be able to see their paints being used in projects and not just in boxes, and just wiping that over with a soft brush just to blend that in. It must be nice for them to actually, and I do know for a fact that these videos that are done are watched by them. So I'm hoping that they'll enjoy this video as much as I'm enjoying painting it, and you're enjoying following along. So I'm just going to add a little bit of white. I've darkened this paint again, and now I'm gonna be coming in like this, like as if there's another part of that mountain there. Bringing this down like that, leaving a little gap, come back up, blocking this in. We'll put some mist down there, I think. Yeah, put some mist down here now. Yeah, she's growling now, and they're playing out there. There's, my little grandson's not well today. He's off. He's got a ear infection, and he suffers really badly with inner ear problems. And he's had a grommet removed, and now he's got a perforated eardrum of him. And he's only 7, going on 30. There you go. So I'm just blocking in this particular. I'm just going to get a little bit of light colour just down there, just to separate this bottom off, because I want to put a bit of mist and stuff in there. So if I add a little bit of a lighter colour to this now, that'll act as my shadow colour. There we go. I just put in some misty. There's always mist on mountains. I always add a little bit of a mist coming in there. Just playing around with these paints now, and that's coming around that way like that. Trying to find that lovely type of effect. So we want to come around like that type of thing. See, that's a good way of doing it, isn't it? So if you're struggling with these angles, then just draw a couple of lines in like that, and then you can just paint up to them. See? Like that. And then this side, then we can get a little bit of that lighter colour, and not too much. And we can paint up the line like that, and then we got that angle that we wanted on that mountain. And add a few different colours in, just to give that effect. Like this. black and brown again. I'm just going to sharpen that up. There we go. So we've got a bit of mountain range starting to come. I'm just going to put my water back in my brush. Checking this, it is dry at the back of my hand. On my finger, never touch it like that because you'll get grease spots, and that's not really what you want. So the brush that I put the clouds in originally, I'm just going to make sure it's dry, and I'm picking up some pure white now, taking a little bit off like that, and I'm looking at this cloud, and I'm going to try and put some highlights in this cloud now. As I said, don't worry about, you've got to try and copy some clouds, get some lovely photographs of clouds. It doesn't cost anything, does it, to take a photograph of a cloud? And then use those clouds in your painting, or just practice painting. If you see a big fluffy cloud like this, then just practice painting that one and see what happens to it. That's the thing. You don't want a lot of paint on your brush when you're doing this. You just get that effect. Just enjoy the process of painting clouds. Easy way, really, if you think about it. It's such an easy way to do a cloud or something. If you've been struggling, I keep saying this, you just really have got to practice. You'll never get any better if you don't. We get frustrated and we give up, and that is not the thing that you should do. You should keep at it. Going back to that story I said about this artist that had that stroke, and he's lost the will to paint, really, because he doesn't think that he can do it anymore. And I thought that when I had my stroke, but it brought me back from the brink, because I just painted just for the fun of it rather than try to paint to make money. And if you're a professional artist, it's very difficult if you've got to earn money from doing something like this, because you lose that ability, I think, in the early stages of strokes and stuff and illness. I'm going to dry this off with a hairdryer. Hope it's dry enough. Picking up our little brush again that we've done the clouds. I'm just going to dry it, because I'm putting it in the water, which you shouldn't do, really. You should wash them or lay them flat if you can. You shouldn't leave them standing in water, but I got them standing in a slight angle, so it's not too bad. The reason is that happens if you put your brushes in water and they go over this bit, which is the fell, that's your handle, obviously. That's going to happen, but you can glue them with a bit of PVA glue or something. But that's what happens, basically. So we need to put some mist in now. Same thing, it's just a cloud down here. Instead of a cloud being in the sky, that's all mist is low level cloud. So if you can paint mist, you can paint clouds. And this could be hundreds and hundreds of feet up, couldn't it? It could. I like a little bit of canvas coming through. I like that canvas coming through. Let's put a little bit of cloud behind that mountain there. Like that. It's just sneaking through. Yeah, nice bit of mist. Bit of rolling mist. Yeah, a bit of rolling mist. We'll keep it welcome in the hillside. Short flat. Bit of white. Now I'm going to try and drag my brush down. Just using the very edge of it. Trying to get some snow effect there, like that. And use that a bit thicker in places in a second. But at the moment I'm just trying to, again, lightly dry brushing. Finding this peak. Could do this with a palette knife, like I said, in the old Bob Ross type of style, but this is quite effective, especially at a distance. There we go. And too much bright. But you need a little bit of bright, and like that. Let me get some white now. Again, this is snow. So we drag in this across just to give it a little bit of dimension. I'm struggling with the paints a little bit because I'm not used to these paints, but I'm getting a result, and if I don't do anything else today and I'm happy with the result that I've got, then I'm winning, and that's all that counts, really. Just trying to put some snow patterns in. Like this. I'm using the paint just a little bit thicker now. Just creating a few little dips and tops like that. A little bit of powdery snow here and there, like that. I want to increase this. I'm just picking up a bit of thicker paint now, just to put a little bit more. Snow in here and there, like that. How are we looking? It's looking pretty good, I think. We don't want to go overboard. That's not the key here. The key is to play with these paints today. Okay, I'm happy with that so far. What I'm going to do is dry that off again very quickly before I do the last and final bit. Okay, I'm dried it completely 100%, but I'm picking up a little detail brush. There we are, that's number 1, I think. I'm picking up some black, a little bit of moisture, and I'm going to paint something here now. I'm going to put, where can I, let's just put him there. I got a man I'm going to paint, so I'm going to paint a little circle. And then a line like that, and I'm going to come down like a carrot, like that. I'm not going to go all the way down because we got a leg coming in there like that. Don't forget, this is a little man we've got to try and paint, and we got another leg then come in like that. And he's got his arm up like that. And his other arm's coming out. There, like that. And he's looking through a pair of binoculars, I think. Well, he is now. He didn't know he brought binoculars with him, but I just informed him that's exactly what he has done. And just tighten it up a touch. There you go. Getting a bit of white. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of white on the back of him like this. We've used all the colours except red, and I'm just aware of that. This is why I'm doing this now. I think we'll get a little bit of this lighty brown colour and just put a little bit of like that. We could give him a bit of a blue hat. There we are. So that's the back of his neck. Quick dry. And now we're going to pick up some red. A little bit of moisture, this red, I think. Quite a nice red. For, as reds go, that's quite nice. Put a backpack on him. Like that. Bit of white. So we're going to have to put his get a bedroll on his back there like that. There you are. Mix up a little bit of grey. Don't know if you'll see this, but we'll just put a shadow there like that. There you go. Should be alright, I think. So I think we just about coming to an end now. We're just going to put a few little details in, and I'm going to put my little birds in. They're eagles, and he's looking through his binoculars and trying to find out what eagles are they. They're golden eagles, or he doesn't know. That's what he's looking at.